Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm sharing with you my top 10 preps I buy on a monthly basis. We're all different guys, we all like to eat different things, so that means we'll be stocking up different things as well. But guys, whether you're new to prepping or been prepping for a little while, I'm sure you have your top 10 of something that you constantly buy on a regular basis. So in this video I'm just going to share with you my top 10 items or groups in fact that I buy literally every month, and if possible even more often. Again, it all depends on choices what my family eats and on my preparedness level already. So guys, without further ado, let's kick off with the most important thing, and I keep mentioning this time and time again: water is life, and we must make sure that we stock water. If you can't stock water, guys, buy some water purification tablets or know how to harvest your water. It is very inexpensive. If you pop into, say, Home Bargains, you can pick up 6 bottles of water for about £1.79, I think, if even less. But there's plenty of options out there, guys. But it is number 1 on my list. Next things, guys, it wouldn't come as a surprise, especially if you've been prepping for a while. Those things are kind of a top prepping priority, if you wish. But we're talking about oats. And need I to say a bit more, guys, about oats? Oats, you know exactly what to do. They're filling, they're good for you. They make great breakfast. You can make flapjacks, anything possible. And because they do keep a very long time with the proper storage, this is something I constantly pick up. Number 3, guys, on my list is rice. Again, if you follow my little shopping trips, every time I pretty much go and I do my shopping, I always buy those staples, and rice is one of them. Rice is still super cheap, and many of you abroad commenting how we're still be able to pick up a kilo of rice for 52 pence. One thing, guys, to let you know, and I've done this, if you follow me, you would have seen a post I've done on Instagram. The quality of rice seems to be diminishing quite a lot. Comparing the rice I've been buying, obviously, for the past few years, and then currently the rice that I'm buying now, it's very much a broken rice, and it kind of looks like it's just something scraped off the bottom of the floor somewhere. But nonetheless, just be cautious when you pick them up. Make sure it's not, all crumbly. It is what it is. They've been threatening us with the shortages of rice, but whilst the rice is still 52 pence, I'll still be buying this every time I go shopping. Next thing again is the Prepper's Trio. So we have the oats, the rice, and a pasta. Again, guys, I buy pasta regularly, more than once a month. Again, the variety is there, guys. You can choose whatever you want. I seem to be recently been going towards the spaghetti because, again, by volume or by weight, when you kind of stack it somewhere else, it's a bit easier to store it than, say, a fusilli or something else, because you can just kind of shove them here, there, and everywhere. But nonetheless, guys, I get it. And I understand a lot of you maybe not eating pasta, but we in the family love pasta. We go through a lot of it, and this is why it's on my list. Next thing, guys, is, believe it or not, is a potato. Generally, okay, I wouldn't even dream about sort of stocking up tons and tons of tinned potatoes. However, because I've covered this on the videos, we know what's been happening with the weather and with the farming and with the threats of the potato shortages towards Christmas, because obviously they've been rotting in the ground. I do grow my own potatoes, but it's nowhere near enough to be able to supply my family for a year or even half a year. We're literally talking my Christmas and a few other days could be sorted with the decent potato harvest. However, any further than this, I'm going to be in trouble. So I'm really concentrating on the potatoes currently. And the options that we have here, guys, is the potatoes in a tin, which are 38p currently. Things like this, they're in Home Bargains. A bit dear, which is 99 pence in a mile bag inside, but they are absolutely brilliant. And of course, guys, we're talking about the instant mashed potatoes. If you've been following me, you know that I've been buying those, and you've been buying them with me. Maggie, they had a really big, 5 kilo or 3 kilo bags. They used to be really cheap, but they literally trebled in price. I have a lot of them milered and stored away. However, I am still on a monthly basis now picking up a little sachets like that. They will last you a very long time, past the best before date, okay? They do have majority of them have a foil lining on the inside, so we make sure that they will sit on your shelf for quite a while. And another beauty that I do like about those, guys, they have now, before I wasn't able to actually see anything that has any additionals, additional herbs or spices, but at the moment there's more and more of them coming out that have like a sort of cheese and onion or different herbs, which is kind of a good idea. So if you don't have your prepping cupboard of spices and herbs stocked up, buying something like this with already extra flavorings could mean night and day. Because if you tried mashed potato or instant potato, whatever you call it, it is pretty boring. You have to kind of kick it a bit with a bit of a flavor, a little bit butter, you know, a little bit of salt and pepper, whatever you choose to do. However, after a while it will still be a bit boring, but having an option there with some additional flavorings I think is a very good idea. And as I said, every time I pop in, I see a little sachet, I will pick it up and put it away. Right, next thing guys, and only one example, is powdered milk. Again, due to the recent discovery, if you haven't seen the video, I'll put the link up there about the milk situation and how we are cheated, if you wish, by the supermarket with milk. I'm now concentrating on buying a lot of powdered milk. I don't myself personally drink milk. I don't have this into your coffees, but I have a little one my husband drinks and has this in the tea, so I've now started buying the powdered milk alongside of a UTH milk as well. However, saying that UTH milk doesn't seem to have a really long date at the moment, and the best I found, it lasts about 6 months past the best before date and then becomes all clumpy and not very pleasant. However, powdered milk like this, although this comes in a paper or cardboard tube, repackaged in a Mylar bag, especially with the skimmed milk powder, will last you pretty much indefinitely with the oxygen absorber. So I'm concentrating when I can a lot on that. They have been going up in price a lot. From £2.99 they're now £4.50 in a space of a couple of months. So if you are thinking of stocking up on some, it's a good time to do this before it goes up in price even more. Right, next thing guys, let's talk about is meat proteins. Again, I buy this every time, but we all know guys, majority of the prepping journeys, or majority of us, we're all really guided by the budget that we have. So it's not something you buy all the time in a massive quantities, but I do try to alternate and build up a kind of a variety of the meat proteins in the prepper's pantry. You'll be familiar guys with the corned beef, and it's the probably alongside of Spam the most popular prepper meat stock up, if you wish, but the options are there. And again, if you watch through my videos, I've pretty much gone through everything, and I think have pretty much tried every single bit of the meat protein available. And recently I've spotted those, right, and I wanted to get them, but they're from Lidl, from the German week, and I think like £5.99. It sounds quite a lot, but guys, those sausages are night and day comparing to one of those I can't remember the name of them, but hot dogs in a jar, or especially comparing to the tin, they're night and day. They're far, far better. They just taste a little bit better. I know there's not a lot of meat there, but if you're into that kind of thing, and it's great, and it comes in a big jar. So anyway, so yes guys, any meat protein that you think your family would like, get it. Or if you eat meat, of course, this is. Again, choices are there to be had. As we are the protein guys, let's talk about is fish proteins, right? Again, have a massive tuna fetish. We go through a lot of tuna, and at the same time I'm alternating this with other things guys. We talk about sardines, we're talking about mackerel. You can buy even anchovies now from Lidl in the tiny little jars like this. It's whatever tickles you, okay? Just pick up whatever your family likes eating. At the end of the day, again, I always say guys, it's kind of no point buying something your family doesn't eat. But I totally appreciate with the tins, and if you're especially just building up your prepper pantry for the sake of just having the things that you may need but you might not necessarily eat, then fish is a very good thing to have anyway. Right, next thing guys is tomato products, and I'm gonna put them under one thing, okay? Because again, I've been always buying the tins of tomatoes and the tomato puree, and of course you can do a lot with tinned tomatoes, especially they are key for prepper pantry. However, recently again guys, I've started to look a bit further afield and stocking up a little bit more on the powdered options. Yes, you have to buy them from Amazon, unless you can buy them probably from them direct, the old India, but tomato powder. Do you know that you can make a tomato puree and tomato passata with tomato powder? And the beauty of that eventually the tins will go off and they will bubble up. And I had issue with the tomato puree, which I showed to share the picture, that is for some reason it's actually exploded there and it's gone moldy. and it was within the date. So kind of taught me, not say taught me a lesson, but I'm kind of concentrating on buying powder because I can make a lot more with it than I can stock up on tins. So if the storage is an issue, powder is a good way to go. And guys, last but not least is vegetables, tinned veg. Again, been threatened with the current affairs and what's happening with the vegetables. I'm normally not really keen on tinned veg. However, guys, as a prepper, we know we have to have it. But I changed my direction ever so slightly. Rather than buying those horrible tinned carrots that taste like nothing or tinned mushrooms, I've opted out, right, of stocking up on more things like this. So ratatouille, it's got a lot of tomato in it, yes, but it does have like onion, you've got peppers, you've got courgettes, you've got aubergines, and it tastes really, really good. Yes, it's not the cheapest, they're £1.29 at the moment, but I think for me personally, it's a better option rather than the tinned carrot, because to me, it's a little bit more palatable and you can do just a little bit more to it than a tinned carrot. But it is a personal choice, okay? Don't forget, everything you buy, guys, or choose to buy, it is down to you and you have to like it. So alongside of my veg, guys, I'm talking about the green beans, right? And they've been featured a couple of times in my videos, and I've been outraged that the price of the tin of the beans. I'm growing my own French beans, but I don't grow anywhere near enough to be able to can them. It's just enough to have for dinner and maybe freeze a little bit. So I don't have an option. So nonetheless, buying them, it seemed to be quite a good idea. I found them a little bit bland, but for them, with a little bit of dry garlic powder, a little bit of olive oil, warm them up and they taste that much better. So I also buy those at the moment. Things like mashy peas, I know I'm going to put them under the veg. They're pretty, again, pretty dull. However, they're super, super cheap. And I think there's a lot more you can do with them as well. Again, adding on some spices, a bit of lemon, you can have them as they are on the side of something, or you can actually still make them into the soup with a little bit of stock. So I think they're quite a good one, and I'm kind of learned to like them, and I'm buying a few of those. And as we're on the veg as well, guys, don't overlook, right, the glass jars. If you go to Lidl or any other supermarket that has like a foreign section there, okay, the options you can find of vegetables are really, really good. So at the moment, for example, you can have a grilled peppers, because if you think about it, you cannot find peppers in the tin, not that I've ever seen, but to be able to buy a grilled peppers, you got red and yellow peppers there together, I think is a good idea, because again, it's a variety. And I always say, as a prepping journey, once you covered your basics of the things, you can then sort of digress and sort of expand your variety, because food fatigue it's horrible. So even if you got nothing, guys, if you don't have a lot to eat and you be continuously just eating time and time again, you'll just get bored, and your body wouldn't physically want to eat it. And I know, guys, you say if you're hungry, eat anything, but trust me, food fatigue will hit, and you'll be gagging at the thought of having the same rice and beans if you don't have anything different. So that's that, guys. This is my top 10 items, if you wish, that I'm buying on a regular, on a monthly basis. Again, just point out, it is totally based on my family's preferences of food and on my preparedness level. As I said, I've been preparing for a while, so I do have quite a lot of other options of things, but those kind of things at the moment I'm buying regularly for my preppers pantry. So anyway, guys, well, hopefully you enjoyed the little video. If you got any questions, please comment down below. Otherwise, if you find this helpful, maybe thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.